basically, I myself lived in the Frosty Moor for 9 months. I've even told the police I lived in there for 9 months because I met a young lady in there one night and she was mentally challenged. And I told her, I said, sweetheart, you don't need to be here. This is not a place for you to be. And I even contacted, she was schizophrenic. I even contacted her mother. Her mother lived in Dallas. She got kicked out of the Salvation Army for being that severely schizophrenic.
Question: her mother lived in Dallas. Well, what? So obviously she was from Dallas, from Texas. What made her come to Clarksville? How did she end up in Tennessee?
Basically, with her schizophrenia, she believed that her mother was the FBI, and that her mother had planted electrodes in her brain and things like that. And she'd gotten off her medication, and when she gets off her medication, she runs because, of course, she's scared. You know what I'm saying? Well, one night I come in from work and she was laying on a dirty couch because I think First Choice Furniture Company moved in there at one point in time and they left a whole bunch of furniture behind. And that's where we get our mattresses from and our chairs and different things like that.
From the furniture left by the furniture company.
Right. And so, and it used to be an old slaughterhouse is what it used to be. Okay. Well, either way, I'm walking through, I've got my flashlight, you know, and like I said, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I don't gamble, you know, so I'm not going in there to hide to get a fix. I just need somewhere to sleep because I've got to find a job and go to work. Well, I see her, and I woke her up, I said, don't be afraid, you know, what are you doing here? How did you get, and she told me about her mother hunting her, FBI, and things like that. Well, I gained her trust, and I got her mom's cell phone number. Because she would come to herself sometime and she's like, I want to go home. And I called her mom. Her mom arranged for her to have a plane ticket at Nashville Airport. I don't know anybody in Clarksville. I arranged basically through a stranger who showed compassion for this young girl to get her to Nashville to send her home. But before I could get her to the Nashville Airport, somebody showed up, picked her up, and I haven't seen her since.
So, but this building is condemned, right? By the city?
This building is condemned by the city. It was an old slaughterhouse. Mm-hmm. Okay. And as far as being in the profession I'm in, it's got a lot of structural damage. It's got a lot of mold in it. And due to the homeless...
So that's why the city's going to tear... Well, right, I don't know that they're going to tear it down, but...
Due to the Salvation Army being so small... and not having room for all the homeless in Clarksville, they go to the Frosty Moor. Okay. Me, on the other hand, I was a little bit slicker than the average bear because it's called the dungeon. And underneath is the freezers where they kept all the frozen meat. If I heard you, I would run to the freezer, I would bang on the wall, and I would tell you I wanted your soul, and this was my domain. College kids are leaving.
Oh, they thought you were a ghost.
Exactly. So therefore, it kept me safe. I had locks on my doors. I had a full-size bed, a solar panel. Bathrooms are still in there with the showers, with toilet paper still in the bathroom stall.
So they got more toilet paper than the Salvation Army.
Exactly. Okay. Well, with that, other people that didn't go through Safe Harbor or got kicked out of the Salvation Army, there's nowhere else to go. They can't afford a bus ticket or the money or even know anybody because the girlfriend and them got in a fight, kicked them out when they first got here. They had nowhere to go with the Salvation Army or whatever. They didn't even know how to get to Nashville or have the money for a bus or anything else to get to Nashville. So instead of sleeping on the curb, and I'll explain that to you in a minute, they came to the Frosty Moor. I work. If I can't afford it, I do without it. But I've actually given people at the Frosty Moor Thanksgiving plates that I've gone out and bought myself. Or I had over $400 worth of groceries in the Frosty Moor. Bland sausage, ramen noodles, brownies, instant coffee, Bunsen burner, laptop that run off a battery off the cellular solar panel I had. I sat around on the roof and flew helicopters. I even had my dog in there. Took him out on the roof and take him out for a walk. Met the K-9 officer out back that trains his dog behind the Frosty Moor. Watched the cop sit behind the frosty more. They sit there between 11 and 1 o'clock every Sunday. The reason why they sit there from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock every Sunday is church lets out the Salvation Army at 1 o'clock. The library doesn't open till 1. Nowhere to go. It's raining. It's cold. Go to the frosty more. Kick back in the office chair. Wait for the rain to pass. Wait for the library to open. And then go on about your business. Okay? But like I said, the fire that just happened, the gentleman in the corner room was Dennis. He's been kicked out of the Salvation Army. He has the mentality of a 12-year-old.
He's the one that y'all think that started the fire.
I don't know who started the fire, whether the gentleman was trying to stay warm in the other room. It's like a motel. You go in there right now, there's 10 people in there right now. You go in, they found a way to Nashville. They found a way to Hopkinsville. They got a whole.
He's offering to take me to the first tomorrow.
They've got family members from that have sent them a bus ticket. I mean, it's not what you think it is. It's not a drug den. It's not an alcohol den. Some folks with drug and alcohol problems do stay there because they have no family and they can't stay at the Salvation Army because their habits in control of them. But yet, like I said, Dennis, the gentleman I told you that called the police because of the fire.
Oh, he was the one that called the police.
I found him out back when I lived there. And I told him, I said, hey, look, man, I'm sitting down back drinking a cup of coffee in a lawn chair. Every college student in Austin P knows me from living in the Frosty Mower. They brought me pizza. They brought me Subways. We played guitar. We sat around and played cards. I had locks on my door. They're like, man, well, your door was locked, so we figured you was at work. Yeah, man, I'm at work. I had to go charge my phone. And I had to come back. Well, man, I made a water run because I got a camping shower. I needed to take a shower. But I met Dennis laying out back under a sheet.
And so where did Dennis come from? Do you know?
Dennis is from, I think, somewhere up north.
So I got a question. All these people, you said there are roughly around 3,000 people, 3,000 homeless in Clarksville.
Yes.
But most of them, 98% of them are not from here, right?
Well, you got to look at it's a military town.
Yeah.
And that's one. But you also got to look at Nashville is one of the largest growing cities in the United States due to the fact of you've got several large metropolises within 1,000 miles. Atlanta, New York, Oklahoma, New Orleans. So it's kind of like a central hub. Mm-hmm. But there's people that come up here because Clarksville does have a reputation of being a very nice city, very polite.
And that's what the issue is with a lot of people. I'm going to give it to you from another perspective. They think because we're known for us Clarksvillians, including myself, we're known for being so generous and so giving and so loving and that and they don't want
the case.
We're not thinking giving.
I needed a job when I first got here. I see a cabinet company.
Yeah,
I had a cabinet company on a guy's truck.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm not ashamed to ask you for a job. Hey man, I see you're a customized cabinet maker. Are y'all hiring? He said, F you, rolled up the window and drove off. I asked a guy at Matco 3 weeks after I got here, hey man, how did you get, I forgot where I was going. He told me, screw you, Google. I like that. But at the same time, okay, there's people that live under bridges. There's people that...
What bridges? You know, I've heard that people live...
They live in Riverside Park. You want to know why they live in Riverside Park?
Where is Riverside Park?
No, they live in Riverside Park.
Where is Riverside Park?
Cumberland River.
Right. Somebody said that. Well, I don't know where Riverside... You in McGregor Park?
Yeah, they live there. Under the bridge behind Wendy's. Or they'll sleep under the canopy by where the history of Clarksville and all that is. You want to know why? They can charge your cell phones there because that's where they plug the Christmas lights in. At the same time, if you go down under the bridge where Rudolph and College Street meet, they live under there. They rent them out from under behind the bridge from Waffle House.
That's a bridge for women.
You know where you come down the street from Crab Street, going up the hill to Women Rudolph, and there's that bridge right there?
Yeah, like where all the cars go at, like the Red River? The Red River Bridge?
Right, you go up Crab Street by the Salvation Army.
Okay.
You go this way to College Street, this way to Women Rudolph.
Right.
Right? And you got all the playground equipment right there in front.
Right.
You take that left going to Women Rudolph toward the mall, that bridge right there.
Yeah.
Before you climb that real steep hill, they live under there.
Ah.
There's a homeless camp behind Walmart. There's a homeless camp over here off 101st, off in the woods. And the people that fly signs, do they want to fly signs? Not really. Some do, some don't. But when the Salvation Army doesn't have room for you, because 9 out of 10 times they tell you they're full, and it's so far to get from 101st, if you don't have a vehicle or a bus fare, downtown to Loaves and Fishes, you gotta have money to eat somehow. You know? I mean, and like I said, Tupac's harmless.
I've heard a lot about Tupac. Like I said, I'm telling you, I pass the old waterbed store all the time. I'm saying this 5-10 times a week.
I have lived in the Frosty Moor for 9 months, through summer and winter. I even grew vegetables on the roof, okay? I had fresh tomatoes, bell peppers, I had onions, I had the whole 9 yards. Of course, the college kids come in there and they spray graffiti and things like that. But when you scream, "I want your soul and this is my domain," they have a tendency to run. But when you've also got a 152-pound dog, you know, and they flash his eyes and they turn red, it kind of freaks him out too. But he's gone now. I gave a real friend of mine, but it would be a great facility, a large facility.
But it can't be because it's too big. You just said it had mold.
Well,
You said that
in time, if it was to the point to where it could have been saved, you could have ran multiple outlets out of this one large building. Men's shelter, women's shelter, lock a wing off for women's battered shelter, special children's needs. It's that large.
I mean, I would have, I want a building, and I'm still.
Clarksville's too Mayberry.
I'm still believing God is going to provide me a building for Women Elevated and
Right,
Men Elevated.
right. But this building was big enough; it could have facilitated.
But
all.
again, I know that's my goal, that's my dream. But I know that that's not what Clarksville wants, because, like you said, when you get a building that big, first of all, it's going to attract other people. Like, hey, guess what? You go to Clarksville, and
that may be true.
It's a good place.
Look at it on this point. Would you rather have too small of a facility and turn people away
And have them on the streets.
to where they have to break into a car to sleep, to where they have to kick the back door of the convenience store open to get a Twinkie to eat because it's closed, there's nowhere to get nothing to eat, they can't get warm, or anything else like that? Or would you rather be more friendly and be able to control them, bring them in, give them the medical facilities and the mental stability that they need, and be able to monitor them closer, even though there's more of them, then be smaller, turn them away, and add to the crime and to the no soliciting, criminal trespassing like Tupac got the other day, or you know, panhandling or flying signs. If you had a bigger facility and you facilitated to more of their physical, financial, and mental needs, get them their GED, get them clothes so they can go to a job interview, so they don't smell like urine or dirt from sleeping behind a building. Or would you rather keep it small, them smell like dirt and urine, not be able to get a job, and fly a sign and cause a child to get ran over by somebody trying to pass a school bus, avoiding not to make eye contact with a guy that's a veteran and needs $1 for a hamburger? So it's a double-edged sword. You either shun them or embrace them. If you embrace them, it's going to cut down on a lot. Of course, you're going to still have the bad seed and the riffraff. But then again, if you turn them away and you shun them, you're not really helping the situation. You're just increasing the crime rate, the prostitution, the drug use, the alcohol use, and the mental instability of Clarksville. No. So I can see not wanting it and not having a stigmatism of, oh my God, we have the largest homeless population in Tennessee.
Well, we don't have that.
Well, I understand that, but that's just my point. If somebody, a battered woman, and I've met several that have had black eyes, busted lips, and everything else in Clarksville that no one would help. I know a young black lady that her mother sold her for crack cocaine in Hopkinsville that left home at 14 years old that lives on the streets in Clarksville right now. And I'll bet you every dollar I got in my pocket, she won't say a word to nobody. She does not talk. There's another little bitty white girl. She's schizophrenic. She wants off the streets, and she's begging for help. But she can't stay in that mind frame of needing help long enough to actually lock in and get some help. So she roams downtown. She lives and bathes in the river. Yeah.
What's bathes in the river?
She takes a bar of soap and a bath.
Oh, she bathes in the river. She bathes in the river.
And she don't sleep night near the river no more because she's scared of snakes. But she was sleeping on the riverbank. So yeah, there's people like that here, but there's not enough. Okay, you got Buffalo Valley, you got the Lighthouse or Light Harbor, Harbor Light or whatever. Okay, you've got a couple of other places. You've got Down Veterans or some other organization. 9 out of 10 times, and I've talked to all these
Operation Homefront?
Yeah, we don't have the facility. We don't have the money. We're full right now. Everywhere these homeless people go, you're a non-profit organization. Granted, you're stressed on funds. You don't have much space. You're trying to open up as many doors and unlock as many as you can, but yet then again, everybody that's come to your door, you turned them away. And when you go, okay, as of me, I lived in the Frosty Moor. I own my own company now. I've got a $12,000 vehicle outside. I've got money in the bank. I'm rich enough to buy anything I want to in Dollar Tree. But at the same time, when you talk to these people, you don't hear of the people that they've helped. Me and you had a discussion over the thrift store that takes veterans' donations and sells them to the public and don't give back to the veterans. So there's a lot of underlayment of Clarksville that nobody knows. But is Clarksville going to admit it? No, they're not. We're a friendly, happy neighborhood, and our arms are open wide. They're just not going to tell you when you cross the city line. They're going to slap you when you get here. They may hug you, but they're going to slap you. It's like a bad domestic violence. It's a horrible relationship. But you've actually got people. There's people that panhandle because they can't get any help. I asked a lady the other day, I'm like, what's up? She's like, I've got to fly a sign because I can't afford my medication. I can't afford insurance.
Just for everybody, so people know what you're talking about. When you say fly a sign, you mean hold the sign up.
We'll work for food.
Okay.
We'll work for food. We'll work for money and everything else like that. And I came up with an idea, and yes, ma'am, it's illegal as hell. But it benefits me and it benefits them. You know what I thought about doing?
Go on, your face isn't on camera.
I know. You know what I thought about doing? I thought about pulling up at the red light, walking up to the guy that's flying a sign. He may make $10 today. Mm-hmm. He might get him a hamburger, might get him a bottle of water if he's not drinking out of the river. Mm-hmm. Look, I tell you what, man, I'm going to give you 300 flyers. I'm going to pay you $25. Hand them out to cars that are coming by. You're making honest money. You're not begging anybody. You've already been paid. It gets my business out there. You don't go to jail for flying a sign, but that's soliciting to the public. Is it public right to public speech? Or am I going to get in trouble for giving this man my business flyers to pass out?
We can go down there and get a solicitation thing for $15.
Right, but you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, but I thought that's my way of helping them because I've been there. I've lived in the Frosty Moor in 6 inches of snow. I've had to take my dog out in 6 inches of snow in the Frosty Moor.
Does it have heat, air?
No.
Does it have running water?
No, it has nothing.
You just said use the bathroom.
Yeah, you take a 5-gallon bucket, put it outside. When it rains, you take the 5-gallon bucket, flush the toilet. You take 5 gallons of water, put it in a pan, heat it up on your little Bunsen burner, put it in your 5-gallon shower, hang it up in the shower stall in the frosty more, take a hot shower, put your shower shoes on, your robe, and walk back to your room. I actually lived here. This was my house. I knew the cop schedule. I knew who came in and out. I could be laying in my bed with my door locked, watching my DVD player that I charged from my solar panel, and could hear you come through any entrance. And when I did, by the time you come through that entrance, I was standing there in the shadow and knew exactly who you were. Like I said, tuna fish, mayonnaise, ketchup, hot coffee, sugar, creamer, Vaseline, NyQuil. I had shelves of things. I didn't need anywhere but somewhere to sleep so I could go to work the next day. When you're at the Salvation Army and they go, well, sir, you make this much money a month. How come you're only allowed to save $300 a month? Which I don't have. Make that public. Are you going to buy my athlete's foot powder? No, we can't do that. You going to buy my BCs because I got a headache? No, we can't do that. Are you going to pay the guy that gives me a ride to work every day because I'm working 30 miles off the bus line, $50 a week to get me back and forth to work? No, sir, we can't do that. You give me a hot dog, green corn, and a cupcake from Publix for dinner, and I've been toting shingles all day or concrete. I'm a small man, but that's not enough to suffice my financial needs. You eat at the Salvation Army. You have a address here in town. You go to donate plasma, you can't because your iron level's too low because they don't feed you enough. You know, I mean, it's sad. I mean, like I said, Tupac and his mom. They rent a room at the A&W for 2 weeks. And yes, she probably does spoil him a little.
And where's the A&W? The vacation, the vacay?
No, the vacation is on Providence. Right. A&W is on Madison Street.
Well, that's a long ways from Providence, though.
That's true, but it's got a bus line.
Okay, it's on the bus line.
Okay.
Got it.
But like I said, instead of getting these people help at the Salvation Army that talk to themselves or see people or whatever.
I wish I could find it. I wish I could get a hotel like the A&W or like the vacay, like an older.
Right, but Tupac and his grandmother go to the A&W for 2 weeks. After their money runs out, they sleep by the old waterbed factory. Okay, now there are exceptions to the rule. There's some people that don't want help. And you gotta actually, and I did it. I knew I wasn't going to, but you have to look at it like this. It's an easy lifestyle. Okay, you go to Loaves and Fishes. You stick a couple extra pieces of pizza in your pocket. You stick a donut in your pocket or whatever. Okay? That's enough food to suffice you through the day. You can go to the park and get free water. If the water fountains are working, the city ever fixes them, you can get free water. But then again, at the same time, you have no water, no lights to pay, no insurance. You can scrounge up $2 to ride the bus. If you're hungry, go to Manna Cafe. Of course, the fresh produce is going to go bad in a day and a half if you don't eat all of it. Most of the food they give you is spaghetti sauce, peanut butter, and pastries from Publix. If it wasn't for Publix in Clarksville and Kroger, the homeless would starve to death because all they give you is a donut. Granted, a donut will suffice the need for the moment, but it's not enough to sustain you.
And it's probably Publix and Kroger because Publix and Kroger, in my opinion,
are combined.
Yeah, and they have the best product. So when it goes bad, they're not selling it anymore. They're getting rid of it. Versus some of the other places like Walmart, Piggly Wiggly, they're keeping that stuff on the.
Right.
They're gonna still keep trying to sell it 6 days later.
Every Tuesday at Kroger, they throw trash away. So you can get cookies, cupcakes, donuts out of the dumpster behind Kroger. You just got to stay out of camera and be quick. I myself have never eaten out of a dumpster. Let's make that perfectly clear.
Got to stay out of the camera and be quick.
Exactly.
Okay.
But at the same time, and that's what I did. I'm the only homeless guy walking the streets, got $600 in his pocket, brand new shoes, brand new clothes, but I just don't have nowhere to stay. And I'm looking for somewhere to stay. And I've worked from staying in the frosty more, cooking my ramen noodles or my teriyaki meal or whatever on the Bunsen burner, making hot coffee every morning, taking my dog out, Saturday night, meeting my college friends and me buying a CC's pizza for $5 or them buying me a Subway or bringing me something from the mall and hanging out watching movies in my room. I mean, it's actually like a house. And
So the college students are in the Frosty Warren watching movies
24 hours a day. Now, and you know if it smells like pot, that they're in the day room. Because you're only allowed to smoke pot in the day room. You know.
Oh, y'all got rules for this.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
You gotta have rules.
Okay.
You know, okay, because if you act like a fool, you get treated like a fool. You don't bring the police. You don't invite your friends over because you're actually breaking the law.
So I can't go over there. They're gonna jump me.
No. You can go in and they'll be like, who are you and what do you want? And you know, you're like, and the cops are scared to go in there. You got more dark corners, more pitfalls, more things falling out of the ceiling. I mean, it's...
Because it's condemned.
Yeah, exactly. And if they're scared to go in there, that means we can go in there and they won't mess with us. But no, there's no meth lab, there's no murders, there's no ghost. I'm the only ghost in the Frosty Moore, and it worked quite well.
Sound like my daddy.
But that's what I was saying is that with that, that's the problem, is the population of Clarksville has quadrupled in the last 10 years. And even if it quadruples, don't you think that the homeless population is going to grow with it? It's not going to shrink.
That's a good point.
I mean, you see what I'm saying? And I'm not saying, build them a 4 seasons with a swimming pool, but you have to have facilities to facilitate the ones that are here. You don't know how many people I've ran into in the Frosty Moor that are on the streets that are like, man, all I need is a little help. Little girl downtown, I need help. I need my schizophrenic medication. If I don't know what's going to happen. 2 weeks later, she's talking to a light pole. But I'm like, who do we need to go talk to? Where do we need to go? I'm taking time out of my day because I've been Dennis sleeping on the sidewalk in the rain. Cop drives by him. I'm standing here watching the cop drive by while Dennis is asleep on the sidewalk outside the back of the Frosty Moor. Yo, man, hey, bro, I got hot coffee, I got beef stew, and I got a movie. You want to come in, bro, and get out of the cold? Look, I tell you what, you can stay at my camp. You can sleep on the other bed, because I had a 2-bedroom apartment. You can sleep on the other bed. Just don't take my shit. Don't bring nobody in and watch my dog while I go to work, because I don't want my dog to be alone while I'm at work. I would go to work for 8 to 12 hours a day, come in, he's done walked my dog, he's done made dinner, and he's asked me, what movie you want to watch? I don't know, man, let's play some cards or some dominoes, turn the lights on. I got lights all over the place. It's lit up like a regular house. I got air freshener going on. I'm vacuuming the floor with a 12-volt battery out of a car that I cut the cord on the vacuum cleaner, hook it to the 12-volt battery, and run a vacuum cleaner. I got a lamp in the corner running off the same 12-volt battery. So I got lamps. I got 5 gallons of water. You can either get something cold, little squirtable drinks from Dollar Tree. I can get you fruit punch, sweet tea, lemonade, whatever you want. Just because you're in that situation don't mean you can't provide for yourself. But there's more people in Clarksville mentally unstable asking for help, but they don't have a window of opportunity long enough to stay in that frame of mind to see through to get help.
Have you ever suggested that they go to the health department, like for their medication and stuff like that, to try to...
Yeah. But I mean, you gotta basically lead them by the hand, because one minute she's this scared, naive, gullible little girl on the streets that needs help, and then 2 hours later she's talking to a light pole. Or she's, thinking that Godzilla is coming down the street. And you can't break through that mental barrier to reach that little girl again, because that's her mental stability. But yeah, the Frosty Moor, the homeless camp behind Walmart, the homeless camp off 101st, and there's people that get up every morning take a bath.